It was an image that seemed impossible at the start of the season, but the Auburn Tigers are the 2013 SEC champions. I hear from Nick Saban and the players on the Big Iron Bowl coming up next. Give a man a fish, you feed him for a day. Teach a man to fish, you feed him for a lifetime. Well, if you're a really good teacher, he just might wind up on the Bassmasters Tour, which stops in Montgomery this weekend. It became a treacherous finish here at Talladega Superspeedway, but ultimately it was Denny Hamlin who wound up here in Victory Lane. There is no doubt plenty of excitement. Opening night, always a very special day, and the Biscuits are welcoming in last year's Southern League champions, Carver and Prattville. They both said they don't like each other.
Sports anchor Brian Penter from the Alabama Sports Network.
You know, what does Auburn head coach Gus Malzahn share in common with fictional NASCAR driver Ricky Bobby? They both want to go fast. And despite having one of the nation's fastest paced offenses in the country last year, Malzahn says they can still speed things up. The Tigers held their first scrimmage of the spring yesterday. It was closed to the media. You wouldn't want us to disclose all your secrets, but afterward Malzahn said he was pleased that the offense stood out with several explosive plays. Malzahn in particular liked what he saw from quarterback Nick Marshall, and he says the Tigers play caller is only going to get better in the NASCAR-like offense.
He looks more comfortable every practice, and like I said, obviously we're not going live, but his pocket presence, you know, each time out there improves, and I thought he threw the ball well.
Alabama players had the week off for spring break, which is always a good time, but the fun ends tomorrow as Tide players trade those sandy beaches for the grassy Tuscaloosa practice fields as spring practice will resume tomorrow. Troy's spring practices have come to a close with yesterday's T-Day game as the Cardinal team beat the White 24-16. There were quite a few injuries for Troy, so we didn't get a total picture of what the 2014 team might look like. The biggest storyline out of spring practice will remain the quarterback competition, where it's a three-way race between Brandon Silvers, Dontrell Pruitt, and Dallas Tidwell. The Trojans won't likely name Corey Robinson's replacement until well into fall camp. Also at Troy, it was a special night as 8 new members were inducted to the Troy Athletics Hall of Fame. The 2014 class includes players and coaches who made major impacts on athletics during their times at Troy. Quite the honor for the new inductees.
Oh man, I can't even describe it. It's just an unbelievable feeling. I mean, it's an honor and a privilege, and you know, for them to think that much of me to induct me in the Troy Sports Hall of Fame, and I just thank everyone that's involved.
I can't put it into words. It was a big surprise, and I'm just proud that they thought I deserved it.
On the NASCAR circuit, it's still early in the 2014 season, but with wins being even more important this year, there is plenty on the line today at Martinsville. NASCAR holds a moment of silence for Linda Petty, wife of Richard, who passed away Tuesday. To the race, this was coming out of the pits on lap 44. Brad Keselowski gets hit. Some real damage to the car, as you can see there. Keselowski was mad at Kurt Busch, so later on lap 87, Keselowski gives him a little love bump. Both were upset, but with 12 laps to go, Busch would pass Jimmy Johnson for the lead, and he would not relinquish. The Outlaw breaks an 83 race winless streak for the 25th of his career. Kurt Busch in disbelief after his win at Martinsville.
I've been on this journey for a while, and every time you come to Martinsville, you just kind of draw a line through it. Like, there's no way I'll be able to challenge those Hendrick guys or be up in that top 10. This Stewart-Haas team gave me a car to do it.
Quite the spectacle at Riverwalk Stadium yesterday as Montgomery featured Major League Baseball for the first time as the Tampa Bay Rays visited to face our hometown Biscuits. The Biscuits actually won the exhibition 5-4, a great chance for fans of Montgomery to see the big league team up close and personal, and those big leaguers loved the support they saw from the fans of Montgomery.
It was nice to see so many Rays fans here in Alabama. I think that's partially the purpose of us coming here, is trying to stretch the fan base into Alabama, where the Braves have had a lot of eyes on them. Now we can stretch out over here and just continue to build the fan base, not only for Montgomery but for the Rays as well.
Alabama State looking to break out the brooms in the weekend finale against North Carolina Central. Hornets got the party started early. Bottom first, 2 men on. Richard Gonzalez, hard hit to second. That's too hot to handle. Richard Amian scores. Next batter, Walivon Estrada. A deep shot to left field that would drop. Cesar Rivera would score, and it's 2-0. They would bat through the order in the first. This is the 9-hitter, Eleanor Munez, a single up the middle. Dexter Price scores. Ribbies for everyone. ASU scores 5 runs on 6 hits in the first. They go on to a 9-7 win and sweep the series. And some more SEC baseball. Alabama beats Ole Miss 3-1, and in Troy, they win 13-9 over Georgia State. Brother and sister Elias and Lauren Leonards started playing golf at a young age.
I remembered when I was 10 months old and I started messing with my dad's clubs. And when I was 3, I started coming out to Gateway.
By 6 years old, Elias was competing in and winning tournaments on junior tours. That was when Father Quincy realized his son was special.
Now, I knew he could play. Just the swing was just natural, and I had people coming up to me at different courses, Gateway, and they were saying, "Man, can I take a picture of your son? Can I video your son?" I was like, "Sure," and it was kind of odd, but that's when I realized he had a gift.
Elias has already won more than 20 tournaments and was invited to compete in the U.S. Kids World Championship at Pinehurst in July. 7-year-old Lauren has followed in her older brother's footsteps, having won 3 tournaments so far herself, and her interest has only grown from watching her brother's success.
They're like 2 peas in a pod. I mean, they're inseparable, and they just have fun together. When they were young, they did all kinds of stuff together, so they're real good kids. They're close.
The Leonards say their favorite golfer is Tiger Woods, another player who made his name at a very young age. And although it's a long way off, Elias and Lauren have both thought about an eventual professional career themselves.
It would be exciting.
Is that something you ever think about?
Mm-hmm. Sometimes I did. And I think about getting all that money. And that green jacket.
Jeff, it's a big night for high school football teams, but it's also a big night for the bands. They've been working hard all summer as well, and this week I learned what happens when the two come together. It's synonymous with Friday night football in autumn. The halftime band show. What you don't often see is a football player playing in the halftime show in full uniform. Meet CJ Philpott, a dual-threat kicker and French horn player for the Strawn Tigers. Philpott was recruited to join the football team this year, but he wanted to maintain his commitment to the band, which he's been in since the 6th grade.
Never thought I'd have the opportunity, and then the door opened, and they said they'd work it out, and I think God just opened the doors for me to make a difference.
The head football coach and band director agreed to work together to allow Philpott to do both.
He knows his role on our football team, and we also know how important he is to the band, so we're kind of letting him split some time right now.
CJ is a tremendous student, and he works hard on his grades, on and off the field, so he shows a lot of potential working with doing anything that he can and wants to do.
Philpott divides the 2 big time commitments by going to band practice Tuesdays and Thursdays and football on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Though balancing the 2 is a challenge, he says it's all been worth it.
I just think just being able to be the one to do both, just being able to be that one, that's just an awesome feeling on its own.
Now, Jeff Ellis, I asked CJ which would be a better feeling, mastering a song on the French horn or making a game-winning field goal. He said he would love the chance to make a game-winning field goal at some point in his career. Guys, let's throw it back on over to you.